Causes of the Chinese Civil War. After the fall of the Qing dynasty, China fell apart and both forces loyal to Chiang Kai-shek's Nationalist Party and Mao Zedong's Communist Party of China fought to rule the country. When Japan surrendered in 1945, it was only a matter of time before the Communists would get aid from Japan. This bloody struggle would ultimately result in the Chinese Civil War. In China's perspective, the Chinese Civil War started in many respects with the Shanghai Massacre and the collapse of the First United Front in 1927. Later on, the Sino-Japanese War also caused government revenue to shrink, forcing the nationalists to release large amounts of paper money not backed by financial reserves, causing economic instability within the Nationalist Party.
The Chinese Nationalist Party and the Chinese Communist Party had originally cooperated in seeking to wrest control of China from landlords and foreign forces. But in April 1927, they split and began a decades-long civil war, interrupted only in part by Japan's invasion. With Japan's surrender and the failure of the American mediation effort, the two sides resumed their struggle in late 1945. Fighting resumed in full force on July 1946. Mao resumed his military strategy of mobile warfare. He relied heavily on the support of the countryside, and when some of the nationalist troops got defeated by the communists, Mao incorporated these surrendered units into his own army, therefore bolstering and further advancing his own army. On April 23rd, the nationalist capital fell, and with their army gone, they ran away before the communists approached. On October 1949, the Chinese Civil War culminated in the communist capture of Beijing, where its leader, Mao Zedong, declared the formation of the People's Republic of China.
Chiang Kai-shek fled to Taiwan and set up the Republic of China, maintaining that he was a legitimate leader of mainland China. His regime was bankrolled with the riches taken from the mainland. He declared the Republic of China to be China's legitimate government in exile, further widening the political split between the mainland and Taiwan. Nevertheless, he remained the president of the Republic until his death in April 1975. To this day, the U.S. is still bound to mainland China and can't recognize Taiwan as an official independent country. To the U.S., the Chinese Civil War usually refers to the time in between late 1945 and October 1949. Initially, the Americans brought Mao Zedong and Chiang Kai-shek together for peace talks in Chongqing in 1946. But their commitment to a unifying China was short-lived and fighting quickly resumed. After nationalists were forced to flee from the communists, Truman realized the U.S. lost the biggest country population-wise to communism, a depressing failure of their attempt to contain communist forces in China. Learning from their lesson, the U.S. would later on put full support in South Korea during the Korean Civil War, attempting not to lose another Eastern country to communism.